15,000 subscriber guys, a small channel update plus my initial thoughts on this brand new hyped up beast from the brand of Afnan, Supremacy Collector's Edition. Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Welcome back to the channel guys, I hope that all of you are doing well. It's time for your daily dose of some fragrance content, but before I talk about the channel, the small channel update, and before I talk about my initial thoughts on Afnan's Supremacy Collector's Edition, I just wanted to apologize for something. Probably most of you, my viewers who have been following me at least for a while, have noticed that in the past month or so I've been pretty much completely missing from the comment section of my videos. I've basically not commented or responded to any comments. And the reason for that is the fact that I literally don't have enough time. Now, those who have been following me at least for a while probably know at this point in time that YouTube is not my main source of income. It's not my main occupation. I actually have, a daytime job, a 9 to 5, or to be more exact, a 9 to 6 job. We also have a small kid at home that we have to take care of, and he's being, he's been having a cold for the past few weeks, so he's not attending kindergarten, and we have to pretty much take care of him. And on top of all that, on top of my daytime job, on top of my YouTube channel, which is nowadays eating quite a bit of time, making the videos, editing and everything else that I'm doing on my own, me and my wife, we have also started a small family-run business a few months ago. So basically, I literally didn't have enough time to respond to comments. But I'll try to be, to respond to comments more often from now on. So again, I want to apologize about that. And now, moving on to the small channel update. As I'm recording this video, the channel has already reached the 15,000 subscriber mark, and probably by the time this gets uploaded will be in the few hundreds over 15,000. And that's a dream come true for me, to be honest, because I never thought that this would be possible. When I created my channel a couple of years ago, all I could dream about was actually reaching the monetization threshold, which is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, and that was my main goal. But I did that in the first 6 months of the life of this channel, and I never really expected that the channel will grow so much, reaching the 5,000 subscriber mark, the 10,000, now we are at 15,000, and I hope that will continue growing. So I just wanted to say huge thank you to all of you guys who have watched my videos, subscribed to the channel, liked and disliked my videos, commented and all that. A lot more is coming your way. I have a lot of fragrances lined up. I have created quite a few good connections in the fragrance world. So probably, good times are ahead for the channel. A lot more content to come. And now, with all that out of the way, let me quickly talk about the fragrance that I'm going to feature in today's video, which is Afnan Supremacy Collector Edition. Now, this fragrance is pretty new to the market. It's been out for maybe a few weeks. It's a brand new release from the brand of Afnan, and it's gotten quite a lot of hype, so I just had to try it. And a few days ago it popped up at our local Notino website, and I immediately ordered it, and it got delivered literally earlier today in the early afternoon. And I just want to share my initial impressions about this fragrance. Now, first of all, the packaging is very, very nice. And now I won't go into too much detail about all that, because that will be reserved for the full review, which will come in a few weeks' time. But basically, this is a very nice packaging, very similar to what you get with other members of the Supremacy line, which is like a slightly higher end up line of fragrances. It's a black bottle with some silver accents. Now, the funny part about this one is the fact that this is an EDP concentration, unlike what you get with, for example, Supremacy Not Only Intense, which is Extrait de Parfum, but the bottle size here is 100 milliliters. It's a nice thick box and really looks lovely, the whole presentation. And the box itself has this sort of kind of a leathery finish on it, which is an interesting touch. And then the bottle itself is very similar to what you get with all other fragrances from the Supremacy line, but this one has a very interesting color pattern on it, very interesting finish that looks a little bit like you know, a concrete or something made out of stone, and you know, with some silver and black accents. And to be honest, I really like the way that you know, the Supremacy Collector's Edition bottle looks. Now let's talk quickly about the scent of Supremacy Collector's Edition. I'll show you the sprayer in action very quickly. It's a nice sprayer, has very good distribution, and the scent itself opens up in a very familiar way. If you are familiar with fragrances like Creed Aventus, like Nishane Hashivat, like Cedrat Boise from Mancera, it's done in that very similar style, but at the same time it's quite different to what you get with the normal Creed Aventus, for example. This feels a lot more fruity right from the get-go. It feels a little bit more mossy compared to Creed Aventus. And I don't think this is a straight-up clone of Creed Aventus. Some people say this is a clone of Aventus Absolute. I've never tried the original fragrance, so I cannot compare it to that one. But definitely this one has drawn some inspirations from Creed Aventus, but at the same time feels quite different compared to Creed Aventus itself. You get a lot of pineapple in the opening of this fragrance, which feels very natural, very realistic. There's also a bit of a green apple note, which in the first few minutes is overshadowed by the pineapple, but then starts to shine a little bit more as more time passes. There's some citrusy freshness. I think there's a bergamot note used in this fragrance. Also, I pick up a hint of a blackcurrant note, which is not listed and is somewhat reminiscent of a Supremacy, not only intense, but it's only you know, a hint of that blackcurrant. Also, right from the get-go, there's a bit of incense. It's a bit of smokiness somewhere in the background, and I also pick up quite a bit of ambery sweetness. When this goes into the dry down, what it happens is that it becomes a lot more woody. Definitely, you know, one of the main sort of notes or accords on the dry down of Supremacy Collector's Edition is the woodiness of this fragrance. You still retain some of the fruitness, some of the pineapple fruitness. I pick up a hint of leather, which again is not listed as a note, but I definitely pick up a hint of leather. There's a bit of oak moss, but it's nowhere near as mossy as a Supremacy Not Only Intense, for an example, and Creed Aventus as well. Also, there's quite a bit of ambery sweetness, but the way that the ambery sweetness has been done in here is a very interesting because it's not in your face, it's not an overly sweet fragrance, although at the same time it's quite sweet. And another sort of a dominant note, especially on the late dry down in this fragrance, for me personally, is the musky note. So it's a very interesting fragrance that in the opening feels somewhat similar to Creed Aventus, to Nishane Hashivat, to Cedrat Boise, but then on the dry down goes into a completely different direction and definitely smells nice. I've only given it one spray on my arm earlier today, but this definitely smells of very, very high quality, something that I've come to expect from the brand of Afnan. In my opinion, they are one of the best Middle Eastern fragrance houses when it comes to the quality of their scents. Again, if you're not familiar with Creed Aventus, maybe you're familiar with Kayet Al Fursan from the brand of Latafa, which is a pineapple bomb. This is like a more grown up, more mature, more woody version of Kayet Al Fursan, for an example. I'm not a huge fan of the fragrance from Latafa, but I really like the way that you know, Afnan have done their job with the scent of Supremacy Collector's Edition. When it comes to the performance, again, I've given it only one spray, one small wear, so I cannot talk too much about performance, but I sprayed it at around about 3 p.m. On my arm over here, and I'm recording this video at about 11 p.m. so it's been almost 8 hours since I sprayed it on my hand. Before I got dressed up for the video, I could still pick it up on my arm, so performance seems to be pretty adequate. Don't take that you know, too serious though, because I'm going to test out the performance in the upcoming weeks. It will definitely improve with time, but so far seems to be quite good. One thing I noticed is that it doesn't project super loudly, at least from my initial impressions, but again, I'll reserve my sort of an you know, my opinion on the performance for the full review of Supremacy Collector's Edition. All around, it's a very interesting scent from the brand of Afnan. Smells of very high quality, comes really nicely packaged, and will definitely get a lot of hype, and probably will turn out to be a very versatile fragrance that will get you a lot of compliments. And so this was all for today's video, guys. The small channel update plus my initial thoughts on the brand new release from the brand of Afnan called Supremacy Collector's Edition. I hope that you found this video interesting to watch. If you did, give it a like. And I also hope that you're going to join me tomorrow for your daily dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.